Welcome. I would like to take this moment to first just acknowledge the country in which I live and work, which is Wadawurrung down in Geelong area in Victoria. And I'd like to pay my respects to past, present, and emerging leaders. And I would also like to extend and acknowledge and respect any First Nations people here who are joining us from across Australia. And I would also like to pay my respect and acknowledge all the beautiful lands that people are coming and joining us from. So I would like to acknowledge that extremely beautiful country there is around Australia. So I'll just let a couple of more people in. Sorry about that. So I guess for today, we wanted to open up and provide an information session on the FRRR expertise, along with, what it is and where it sits within FRRR. And so I will kick that off now. So I guess the first thing is the Helping Regional Communities Prepare for Drought initiative is part of the Future Drought Fund program from the government, and it sits within the Better Prepared Communities themes of the Future Drought Fund. Now, the Helping Regional Communities Prepare for Drought aims to support communities to strengthen networks and local leadership across Australia to better support them in building resilience in becoming prepared for drought. So 5 of these elements within the Helping Regional Communities Prepare for Drought is community impact programs, which is organisations can come on board, apply for grants for projects that they see as, providing solutions and preparing them for drought. Same with Small Networks Grant. But the element we're talking about today is the National Expertise Pool. So FRRR, as part of our role within the Helping Regional Communities Prepare for Drought, which I will now start saying HRCPD with all the acronyms. So a part of that is providing a national expertise pool. And so we've partnered with the Social Impact Hub to provide that. So we launched in July of this year, and that was mainly promoting to remote, regional and rural communities that are grantees within the program Australia-wide, to have the ability, one, to have informed discussions with a concierge service around what expertise may help them strengthen and, create more sustainable, organizations or support them in delivering projects. So I guess a large part of that has relatively gone well, and we've been able to promote that amongst our community. And now what we're doing is we're wanting to build that. So at the moment, you would have read in the information you received from me that we have 70 experts already within the pool. But what we're wanting to do today is really promote joining the expertise pool to bring in more, more diverse experts from across Australia, and opening that up to different regions. And so we thank you for joining us, and I'm going to hand it over to Jay to walk you through what it is and provide you all the important information.
Awesome. Welcome, everyone. I'd like to acknowledge the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, who are the traditional custodians of the land on which I'm joining today. And I'd like to pay my respects to all elders past and present. Really appreciate your interest and time today. My name is Jay, and I am the Collaboration Manager at the Social Impact Hub. I'm also joined by Ben Sensical, our Advisory and Projects Manager, who is one of the squares floating around your screen right now. As Shannon mentioned, as part of the HRCPD pool, HRCPD initiative, the Social Impact Hub has been engaged by FRRR to manage the FRRR Expertise Pool until 2025. Today, I'll walk you through the pool, how it works, and how you can be considered for inclusion as an expert. And then at the end of this short presentation, we'll open up for a Q&A. And at the same time, please feel free to share any questions that you have in the chat. So first, little bit about who we are. We are the Social Impact Hub. We are a social impact intermediary, which means we collaborate with for-purpose organizations to accelerate change. And the way that we do that is in four main ways. We deliver advisory services and consult to a wide range of for-purpose organizations across the non-for-profit, social enterprise, and impact investing sectors on how to design, grow, demonstrate, and scale impact. We deliver education programs that combine academic theory with experiential learning, like our Social Impact Fellowship. We undertake a range of ecosystem building initiatives, like hosting the Australian Impact Investing Awards, and we mobilize capital by connecting funders with opportunities for impact. And we've raised over $20 million for $20 million of impact investment for social enterprises. Shannon, can we go to the next slide? Cool. So the FRRR Expertise Pool, and if you don't mind, I'll just refer to it as the pool from now on, is a carefully curated network of seasoned and highly experienced consultants from around the country, with a proven track record of helping community organizations achieve their mission and scale their impact. While the priority focus is on helping remote, rural, and regional community organizations, the initiative is open to all community organizations who are looking for support. The public URL for the pool webpage is on the screen. It's socialimpacthub.org/FRRR-expertise-pool. And Shannon, maybe if you could just quickly throw that in the chat, that'd be great. So how does it work? So for community organizations, while the experts that are included in the pool are all available on the webpage and searchable via the directory, the first and primary way the pool is supporting community organizations is through what we're calling concierge, basically a fancy word for customer service. Think of it like your hotel concierge or a personal assistant. To access the concierge and have an initial chat with a member of the Social Impact Hub team, the community organization simply needs to fill in an expression of interest form, which only takes a few minutes, and the link for the forms available via the webpage. The role of the concierge is essentially to save community organizations time and to help them avoid going down rabbit holes, dead ends, and getting the support they need quicker and more efficiently. So this could be facilitating introductions to aligned organizations, sharing valuable information and practical resources like best practice tools and templates, sharing sector and pro bono support opportunities like skilled volunteering, and connecting them with experts, potentially like you, if they have budget for paid advisory. These warm referrals for paid advisory are based on a number of factors, including the community organization specific challenges, needs, their locations, and any preferences of the experts that they've indicated they'd like to work with. We go to the next slide. Cool. So as the pool is open to all community organizations, our aim is to offer a wide spectrum of skills and expertise. We understand that each community has unique needs and challenges which require specific support and a nuanced approach. So by bringing together experts from various disciplines, we hope to be able to more efficiently help community organizations address the unique and multifaceted challenges that they face. So whether they need guidance on strategic planning or financial management, marketing, workshop facilitation, or any other area, our goal is to have an expert that is able to help. We go to the next one, Shannon, please. The pool will also cover a broad range of impact areas and sectors. Again, these are all searchable via the directory on the web page, and we hope to have professionals that cover a wide breadth of sectors and who can offer guidance and support tailored to the specific needs of community organizations and specifically to those based in remote, rural, and regional areas. So as Shannon mentioned, we're now focused on growing the expertise pool and adding consultants best placed to help rural and regional communities. The quality and reliability of the consultants in the expertise pool are of the utmost importance to us. So all potential experts undergo the following vetting process before being accepted. The first step is to complete an expression of interest form, which asks a few questions about your work history, your areas of expertise, and your location. This EOI form, along with some desktop research, helps us to assess your suitability for progressing to the next stage, which is an interview, wherein we delve deeper into your professional background, the types of clients you've worked with, your delivery methods and preferences, and your capacity to deliver. If all goes well, we then carry out 2 reference checks with 2 previous clients to validate your capabilities. And then we make an assessment, and that assessment takes into account a number of criteria and factors, including but not limited to your areas of expertise, your experience working with regional, rural, and remote organizations and communities, your location, your track record, the reference check that I mentioned, the number and types of organizations that you've supported and your sector reputation. If you are accepted, then the next step is to sign a MOU, which outlines the expectations and responsibilities of your involvement in the pool. And I'll go through those expectations in a moment. And then finally, upon reviewing and approving your profile for the web page, we'll then begin to facilitate warm introductions to suitable community organizations and projects as they arise. Next session. So why would you join? The pool offers a number of benefits to experts, including the opportunity to expand your network, reach, and client base, the chance to work on impactful community projects. Inclusion is an endorsement of your skills and capabilities and affirms your status as a trusted expert in your field. And joining will also increase your visibility and amplify your professional reputation. Your profile will be featured on the web portal, providing exposure to a wide audience of community organizations and other experts. So if you're a seasoned consultant or a highly experienced professional in your field, I encourage you to submit an EOI. But before you do, I want to outline, as I mentioned, some of those expectations and responsibilities that come with being an expert in the field. So firstly, while it's free to join the pool, we do want to clarify that work is not guaranteed. Having launched the pool only relatively recently, and having not yet broadly promoted it to community organizations, their demand and capacity to pay for professional services is still unclear. Regardless, for all work that is referred to you via the pool, you'll be responsible for all communications and delivery with the community organization. So that's from once the warm referral has been made and you've been briefed on the EOI and the initial concierge conversation, it's up to you to scope the project, price the project, win the work, manage the project timelines, produce the deliverables, to the end-to-end delivery of the project. And you are delivering the work as you buy. You're not delivering work on behalf of FRRR or the Social Impact Hub. The 2 other expectations is that at the start of every project, you're required to complete a very short survey that captures the detail of the work that's going to be done. And then at the end of the project, we ask you to share an evaluation survey, again, very short, with the community organization. And the feedback basically just helps us to understand the impact of the project and helps us to improve the expertise pool over time. That's kind of all that I have to share today. I'll open up for questions, but I hope that gives you an idea of how the pool works and the process for being included as an expert. Again, the first step is to complete an EOI form, which you can access via the URL on the slide or via the FRRR Expertise Pool webpage. And thanks again for all your time, and we'll open up for Q&A. Dominique's asked if there's a closing date. There's not a closing date, and the pool will be managing the project until June 2025.
Have you just got a quick case study of sort of an expert that's part of the pool, that's sort of job that they may be doing?
Case study, I mean, all the experts, there's currently 70 experts that are part of the pool. You can look at all their profiles there. And then in terms of the EOIs that have come through recently, what would you like to know about them?
Oh, just, if you had sort of case, you had the first slide, you had the areas that they're experts in, that they're working in. Just wondering if you had a short case study that you're able to present.
I could probably jump in if you like, Jay.
Sure.
Obviously not a formal case study. We didn't have slides or anything prepared, but one example of project work that we've done recently, the expert has come in to help an organisation called Rural Aid. They've started their impact measurement journey, so they're looking to really understand the impact that their programs are having, and really increase their organisational capability to move from just understanding the outputs of their work through to developing a theory of change, developing logic models, and an impact measurement framework where they can really see the actual defined outcomes. And one of our experts has basically mentored and guided them through that journey. So the work itself looked a bit like mentoring the organisation, helping them with the change management to build up that capacity for impact measurement internally, supporting co-building some of the deliverables, and then building some of the actual deliverables for them. That's an example of a project which we find across the different types of organizations that we've supported, and how experts come in and help. That can scale up and down. Sometimes we do a bit more co-build. The experts will do a bit more of a co-build setup, and some of them might do a bit more actual deliverable work. It depends on budgets and timelines and all that sort of a thing.
Yeah, that's what I was after. Yep, thanks, mate.
Okay.
I can go through. Nicholas asked if there's a logo, which I think is a fantastic idea. But Shannon and we can take offline, I think, given we're trying to balance we're trying to, do the appropriate due diligence on the experts that express interest, but at the same time, don't want to be overly onerous on all of you, especially considering that work is not guaranteed and when a little bit unsure about the demand and take up. But I do think having gone through the vetting process, being accepted into the pool is endorsement of your experience. And I think we should think of a way in terms of a logo or a badge that indicates that you have been accepted into the pool. That's a great question and suggestion, Nicholas. Lucy said, what plans are in place to promote the program to the sector? So the initial kind of promotion is to experts, and then FRRR will be promoting more broadly to community organizations starting at the beginning of next year. I don't know, Shannon, if you wanted to touch on.
Yeah, I think it's good just to, I guess, in line with the helping regional communities prepare for drought initiatives. So we're trying to time it also in line with different rounds as well, with organisations going for grants and stuff like that. So we do have a clear date for February where we're going to do a lot stronger promotions to community organisations. So some of the feedback that we were receiving through our initial promotions to community orgs was the desire to have a bit more diversity in the experts and consultants available. And so based on that, we've decided to put some more effort and bring more attention to our expertise pool and to building that out a little bit more. Thinking more broadly around what specific skills people are looking for, and just opening it up. And then once we do that, so our goal is to build it out a little bit more and then start promoting again in February 2024. And that will be through, all our networks at FRRR, but also within the Future Drought Fund program. Did you need any more information on that, Lucy?
I did actually, thank you. I did have a follow-up question about what your specific diversity skills and regional gaps are.
Yeah. So I guess for us, it was more just around a lot of community organisations were starting to ask the question of where are they based, what state, are they just in regional or I guess major city centres? And so given that we're currently we're promoting to they're helping regional communities prepare for drought, it is mostly agricultural, rural, regional, remote communities. And so for us, the attention is more just being responsive to that program's needs. But again, I think it's important to highlight that we are opening up our networks for promotion, that it will go beyond our helping regional communities prepare for drought, but it'll also include other grantee programs from the FRRR, but also any networks that we have and can share that through. So at the moment, one of our, desires, but isn't like it's like I like to have blue sky, would to have more consultants and experts from the regions that people are working and organisations are based. I think that is a really strong signifier for community organisations to be able to champion local experts, and that's something that we are hearing from them. But don't opt out based on that desire. I think also we want to have a clear diversification of, maybe not just high-end strategic organizational expertise. Maybe we want more, community end-to-end program design, community-led practices and stuff like that. So I think we want to encourage people, if you have a skill and an expertise that can be helpful to community not-for-profit organisations, definitely, and you think this is the right place, definitely put in an expression of interest. Hey, Jay, did you want to, I just saw Paris Brook, is the expert panel open to consulting organisations or just individuals?
Sure. So I've been answering some of the questions in the chat via text. Yes, it's open to both organizations and individual consultants. Stephen asked, how many experts are you hoping to have in the pool? That's kind of undefined at the moment. We're not putting a cap on it. I think it's more about the breadth and depth of expertise and reach. We really want to try and get experts across Australia in the expertise pool, not just those obviously based in the metropolitan cities. So we haven't put a cap on it. Carolyn made a suggestion around impact areas. That's great, that there should be agricultural there. Really appreciate it. That suggestion, we'll get that added. When you come on board, in terms of those impact areas, there's another option, which will be whereby the expert can add, and we'll be continuing to build out those impact areas over time. Does the vetting process include assessment of proven demonstrated experience in regional rural settings? Yes, it does. Both in the interview, we really drill down on the expert's experience in that area. And then we also have the reference checks and then do a bunch of kind of online desktop research. How does matchmaking happen? The community wants an expert, then you offer a range that you think, yeah, exactly. So when the community organization submits an EOI, one of the questions is, are there any particular experts that you would like to work with, which we will take into account when it comes to the matchmaking, as well as our understanding of the skills and experience of the experts, as well as the conversation with the community organization. Because the problem that or challenge that they initially submit through the EOI may change through the concierge conversation. But yeah, they do have say, obviously, but we would make a number of suggestions of experts, not just one. Can groups apply to FRRR for this? Shannon, maybe I'll pass to you on Dominique's question. Can the groups apply to FRRR for the specialist consultants to work with them?
Groups meaning community organizations? Yep. So the community organizations, pretty much it's an ongoing promotion to them that they can apply. So what happens is they submit an expression of interest. I want to access an expert. They might be unclear about exactly what they're looking for. They might, it might be focused on looking for a solution. It might be focused on a problem that they're having. And so from there, when they have the expression of interest, then we bring them into a conversation through the concierge service where we try and understand that and try and connect them to those expertise. So it kind of acts trying to get the right connections for either the solution or the issue that communities, organizations are experiencing. Does that answer your question, or is there more specific?
Oh, thanks, Shannon. I was specifically referring to funding to assist them with paying for that expertise.
Yeah, so definitely this is supported and part of one of those key elements of the helping regional communities prepare for drought. So organizations can use their, like a line item, they can use their grant funds to pay for experts.
Thank you. Brilliant. Awesome.
I could jump on a couple as well. I think these were both from Nicholas. Can our profile state the regions that we are most willing to work with? Example, lives in the Riverina, so that's a target market for him and preferred choice, but also happy to assist across the state and country. So it's kind of yes and kind of no. Like absolutely, part of what we think a strength of the expertise pool is that it's a body that sits adjacent to the social impact hub, and then we're trying to choose the best person for the job based off of everything, skills, availability, all those sorts of things. And we definitely take location based into account, but sort of linking it to a little bit to Jay's point around we don't have a super clear sense of the amount of work that might be coming through. A big part of the aim of this is bolstering the current expertise pools, expertise in regional areas. And so in that end, it's really looking to build in experts in regional and rural contexts and that have worked in those contexts to be able to spread that expertise to projects across the country. So it's, yes, you can put that in as a preference, but it really is looking to people that have the capacity to do remote work as well to be able to support with this type of project nationally. And then another one I think from Nicholas was with grant writing a specific focus listed there. I can't recall if it was actually specifically focused. There is a fair bit of, we find a lot of organizations that approach us are seeking support for basically capital raising and mobilizing capital support in general. So in any of its forms, from grant to philanthropy to fundraising to impact investment. So it does sit as a subset of that. And we do see a bit of the odd project coming through in those sorts of areas.
And Ben, I'll just jump in. So on the grant writers, yes, there's someone who is currently reviewing the MOU and is a grant writer. And so I guess to my point that the impact areas that are currently there are not exhaustive, and that we're asking the experts if they have expertise in areas that aren't listed there to add them. And that's part of the onboarding process. So if you don't see a particular skill that you think is relevant in the drop down, that doesn't mean that it can't be added and won't be added. Shannon, maybe if you can have a quick look at the question from John, and I'll keep looking at the other questions. Same to Maxine in terms of our general grant project management.
Just looking for John's comments. Sorry, guys.
So Dom asked, once we submit an EOI, what's the time frame to find out if we're successful or not? So since FRRR has started doing communications, there's really been a bit of a flood of expert EOIs. I mean, I'd hope, and it's really just about timing in terms of if you go to interview stage, scheduling that, then reviewing the MOU. And once that's signed, I mean, I'm hoping once you submit an EOI, can probably get you, should you go through all the stages, probably within like 2 weeks, hopefully 2-3 weeks.
I'm happy to end. Oh, sorry, Dominique, were you going to say
No, I was
something?
going to say, thanks, Joe. That's super quick. I thought you were going to say 2 or 3 months.
Well, yeah, let's see.
Super quick, thanks.
Remember Christmas, Jay.
Yeah.
Might put a delay. But just looking at John's comments, so I guess this is an interesting around the broader Future Drought Fund, that it's more based around climate resilience and managing seasonal variability. And I think you will get this sent to you, but those different elements or the different components of the Future Drought Fund does have a section which is what we're funded under, which is about building resilience within communities and networks and knowledge. So it kind of expands out from that very focus on climate resilience versus communities' resilience to prepare and to be ready for like drought and seasonal events. So does that answer your question?
Yes, thanks, Shannon.
So there is, I guess that's really important, because it does go into that space of community preparedness, but from a drought preparedness lens, but using those, you know, frameworks and approaches that are around community resilience and community networks and building that ability within the different organizations and communities. But yeah, that will be on the slide that we'll send through. Just having a look through. Is there any that we have missed?
Yes. What are the insurance requirements, guys?
The insurance, I have to check the MOU. Who asked that question? I can get back to you after. I don't know off the top of my head.
It's myself. Usually there are public liability, professional indemnity insurances as requirements. I'm just asking what they are, or if they are.
They are. I just have to. I can get back to you on exactly what they are. They are in the memorandum of understanding, but Shannon, maybe we can catch up. We can follow up with the group on that.
Yep. So we will review all the chats and put down in writing, because there is a lot of people who have not joined us, and I think this helps refine. We tried to predict some of those frequently asked questions with the fact sheet, but knew there would be plenty more coming. So we will definitely review the chat and answer them and send that out.
How much more time do we have? Are you happy to keep going just for now? I'll try and get through as many questions. So Nicholas asked, is there a recommended scale of fees that could be charged for services offered, or is that up to each individual expert to determine? Correct. So once the community organization comes to the concierge, submits an EOI, we have a conversation to get a better understanding of their challenges and where they need support, and also if they have budget for paid advisory. And if they do, then we'll make a warm referral introduction to the number of appropriate experts, or suggest to the community organization, these are the experts we suggest that you work with on particular challenges. And then we'd make an introduction to you, and then the ball is in your court. So to scope the project, price the project, deliver the project.
Have we missed anybody else while you have us here? No? Okay, I think, yeah.
So interviews, I assume via Zoom. Nicholas asked, yes. How many will be on the interview panel? It will usually just be one person from the Social Impact Hub. What sort of things will be covered? So things like just digging deeper into your professional background, the types of clients you've worked with, the type of work and projects you've delivered, the size and scope of those projects, how you like to deliver projects, if you have preferences for, face-to-face, or you're happy to do hybrid, what's your capacity to deliver in the short and medium term. There's a number of questions, but maybe that gives you an idea. Yes, Jackie, that would be awesome. For those successful in joining the pool, could we be linked to others in the pool from our local region to potentially work on projects? Absolutely. We'll definitely do our best to try and connect experts that are in the same location, and even with the same skill sets, so they probably already know each other, but we'll definitely try and connect you to one another based on those things.
Just in response to the materials, so for those who joined through a social media post, you probably did not receive a fact sheet or FAQ sheet. So we do have the emails that you registered with Humanitix to join this event. So we will be sending out any follow-up material, which will also include those FAQs, this presentation, the recording. And also we will take some time to get the FAQs out to you, because we'll revise them in light of the stuff that was brought up today, and update them and send them out to you. So stay tuned for that.
Maxine also asked a great question, which is asked during the interview process, is the pool only is all for paid work. Can you do some volunteering hours too? And you will be asked that towards the end of the interview, just so that when those community organizations come in and indicate that they have a particular, challenge that they're looking to overcome, but don't have budget for any sort of professional advice, there still might be experts that are willing to offer some sort of support pro bono.
So just to clarify, you will be, or will you be able to sort of update the search so that people can look beyond just the state to find like parts of the state? Right. And even like I typed in rural and that, but so just so that they can really nail down there, that would be great. And even with the listings of the people who come up, it's could you have like where they're located? Because it's just got their name and then it starts to go down their blurb. But if you could have their name and then where they're located, or
of course,
like that would be really, I think, useful.
Done today. Absolutely. Phil's question: a little concerned for individuals or smaller businesses working in the region, as you've just introduced competition from outside the region or state. What considerations being given to retaining work income within regions as opposed to redirecting it to metro and regional centers? So absolutely, in terms of the matchmaking, that's kind of the first lens that we're looking in, keeping it local. And that's really why we want to try and find experts from across Australia, so that when a community organization expresses interest need support, we can help them find the local expert really quickly. Absolutely very, very aware of that.
I think it's also important to note that we often say when promoting the expertise pool that if you know someone exceptional and want to recommend them to do so. So it's not something that, you know, we're saying to grantees only use people from the FRRR Expertise Pool. It's about consolidating the different networks and different ways of referrals from all our different partners and networks to kind of consolidate something that can support regional and rural remote organisations. And we're definitely opening it up to say to people, if you know someone exceptional that you use, that you think someone else within your region, because that connection isn't always there. And some regions are quite large across different kind of programs. So for us to even know of local, which is in like quite a large region of like 4 or 5 different LGAs, could be very good information to share with organizations. So we definitely want to, you know, build up that knowledge base. And I think this is not about channeling organizations just to experts that we consider. It's about also getting them to share their expertise networks around their regions as well. Jay, can you see the comment from Jackie around how many First Nations identified experts do we have in the pool?
Currently there's one in the pipeline, but otherwise I don't think there's any people that identify First Nations.
And I think that's also something, you know, a lot of the times programs will have different lenses and, you know, strengthening First Nations representation within these programs is extremely important as well. And so, again, sharing amongst even your own networks, as we all have through different experiences, to broaden that out.
John asks, is there future scope for industry partnerships? Perhaps you could expand on what you mean, John?
I'll just come off mute. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah. Just thinking of the agricultural industry and the R&D type funding that is developed through Grains Research and Development Corporation and other organisations, but more specifically local industry partnerships that want to move to climate resilience and are keen to put dollars in. So both the development point of view in the R&D area, but also in industry development.
I mean, probably something for you, Shannon.
Sorry, John, I was actually reading something and keeping hold of the chat. Can you please just repeat that question? I apologize.
Sure. I'm thinking of industry partnerships and how we could engage industry and match dollars in terms of whether it's R&D type organisations or organisations that are developing initiatives that they're putting dollars in, but you could co-invest.
So I guess like on this kind of area, like the specific need is to meet like organizations coming to us to access an expert within relation to building resilience and strengthening their organization's capacity. I think obviously if there was opportunities for partnerships and collaborations, but I think that probably sits a little bit outside of what we're developing at the moment. I think before there was a question around the ability for the FRRR Expertise Pool to be an avenue for which, you know, experts can connect. And potentially that could be something that we can help promote in the future. But I think, yeah, probably a little bit outside of our scope at the moment.
Yeah, that does seem a fair enough boundary. Yeah, I'll get you.
But obviously a good idea. And I think what we're seeing is that there is more and more investment going into, you know, climate events and, you know, drought preparedness that sits outside of the disaster management context and framework that we've often operated in. And so now looking at resilience through these particular lenses is obviously pushing more and more, I guess, theoretical conversations and research and approaches around how to best prepare communities. But yes, we're more in line with building that resilience of community organisations, networks at a local level.
Thanks, Shannon.
I might, if I can just make a comment, because there's already been a few voice questions, and then there's a few more just points generally around the local expertise. Just to sort of reiterate and hopefully expand a little bit on what's already been said, very much so support this. If we have access to experts in the expertise pool that are local, they would, as Jay said, that would be the first recommendation. But I probably would like to try and clarify that it's probably a bit unrealistic for the pool to get to the point of having experts everywhere. It's that I think the value that we're looking to really add is bringing in people that have expertise in the type of work that people in the region face. So agriculture was mentioned before, rural and regional issues, all of that sort of a thing. It really is looking to build a pool that has work in that type of, has experience in those types of work, and then be able to spread that benefit across any work that we see across the nation. So again, it would most likely involve remote work, or in many cases would involve remote work. But yeah, we still very much so support local support if that's something that we've found a connection on first and foremost.
Thanks, Ben. And Shannon, can you just make sure you can download this chat, because it'd be good. We'll get back to everyone.
Yep.
Just in case any of the questions.
Yeah, we'll definitely go through the questions. I think thank you for your engagement and willingness to answer the questions, because it also helps us refine those areas as well. And also some of the suggestions have been great. So thank you. Great to have experts in the room. No. But yeah, so thank you very much. Does anyone have any last questions? It's 1:56, so I might be able to give you 2 minutes back. If there's no raised hands, we're getting a lot of thank yous. So on that note, I would like to say thank you for taking time out of your day and sitting down in a way with us digitally and having a talk about the expertise pool. Please don't hesitate to reach out to myself or specifically Jay if you want to discuss more details around the expertise pool. But yeah, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and thank you.